You know, in business, every single choice we make, kind of like a bet, right? We're betting on a new feature, a different headline, even a new button. And we're just hoping we're right. But what if you could trade all that hope for cold, hard evidence? That's exactly what we're going to talk about today. A simple blueprint to turn your biggest questions into your most profitable answers.
So where does this all begin? Well, it almost always starts with a really simple question. Let's imagine for a second you're running this awesome online plant shop. You've got this beautiful Monstera plant on your product page. But then you start to wonder, what's just one tiny change I could make that would get more people to actually buy it?
So you've got two options. On one hand, you have the classic, the totally chill add to cart. And on the other, you've got this more urgent, more direct buy now. Now your gut might be screaming one way, and maybe your marketing manager is yelling the other way. But let's be real, in business, the loudest opinion in the room, it's not always the right one. What we really need is data.
And right there, that's the core of the problem. It's never about a lack of good ideas, is it? It's about the sheer risk of picking the wrong one. Because every time you just guess, you're basically flipping a coin with your company's revenue. And that's not a great strategy.
So, how do we stop flipping coins and start making, calculated moves? The answer is a blueprint. Now, this isn't some magic crystal ball, okay? It's a structured, repeatable plan that literally guides you from that nagging question all the way to an answer you can, well, take to the bank.
All right, let's start putting this blueprint together. Section 1 is all about the vision. This part is super important. Before you even think about testing anything, you've got to know what you're actually trying to achieve.
So before you write a single line of code or design anything new, you have to answer two fundamental questions. First up, what's the goal? What's the one metric, the one number you're trying to push up? For our little plant shop, it's pretty simple. We want to increase conversions, more sales. Then, once you know that, you make your educated guess, your hypothesis. You ask yourself, what do I really believe is going to happen here?
And listen, this is absolutely key. A hypothesis can't be some vague, fuzzy feeling. No way. It has to be a sharp, totally testable prediction. Something like this. Changing the button text from add to cart to buy now will increase the conversion rate. See that? It's not might or could, it's will. It's a statement you can either prove or disprove. And that's what gives it all its power.
Okay, our hypothesis is locked and loaded. Now we move on to section 2 of the blueprint, drafting the plan. This is where we get down to the nitty-gritty, the tactical stuff. We're going to figure out exactly how we're going to test this idea out.
So at the heart of pretty much any experiment like this is a really simple idea. You've got the control and you've got the variation. The control, you can think of it as version A, is just the original. It's what you're already doing. The variation, or version B, well, that's your shiny new idea. So in our case, add to cart is our control, our baseline, and buy now is our variation.
And man, this is where having a blueprint is a total game changer. It forces you to get super specific. Who are we going to show this to? Okay, let's target first-time visitors. How are we going to split the traffic? Easy, 50-50. How many people do we need to run through this thing before we can actually trust the results? Let's say 10,000 visitors. And how long do we run it for? 2 weeks sounds about right. See? All of a sudden, all those messy, chaotic variables, they're totally under control.
Okay, here's a pro tip for you. Before you hit that launch button, you have to define what a win actually looks like. Your primary metric, that's your main goal. For us, it's the conversion rate. But you also got to watch out for any unintended side effects. Did the revenue per user go up or down? Did more people just leave the page immediately? See, tracking these secondary metrics gives you the full story, not just the flashy headline. All right, the plan is set. The test has been running for 2 weeks. And now, we get to the really exciting part. Section 3, the results. Let's see what actually happened. And the data is in. So take a look at this. Our original add to cart button, it was converting at 4.2%. Not bad. But our new buy now variation, it hit 5.1%. Wow, that is a pretty significant lift. I mean, it looks like a clear winner, right? But here's the big question. How can we be sure this isn't just random luck, a fluke?
Well, that's where this big number becomes your absolute best friend. Statistical significance. Think about it like this, right? If you flipped a coin 10 times and got, say, 6 heads, you wouldn't think twice about it. But what if you got 9 heads? You'd start to get a little suspicious, right? You'd think, maybe this coin is weighted. Well, getting a 99% significance is like getting 9 heads. It basically tells us there's only a tiny 1% chance that this result was pure random luck. So yeah, we can be very, very confident that buy now is the real deal.
So now that we have a result we can actually trust, We don't just, pop the champagne and move on. The blueprint forces us to ask the most important question. Why? What do we actually learn here? And what we learned is that for our customers, that direct, urgent language, it works. They respond to that clarity. And that one single insight, that's pure gold. Because it immediately sparks ideas for the next experiment. Where else on our website can we try being more direct?
And that brings us to the final and maybe the most important section of all. We've got a winning idea and it's backed by solid data. So it's time to move from the blueprint to the build. What's the next step?
And boom, just like that, the decision is made. No more of those endless circular debates and meetings. No more guessing games. The data speaks for itself. We implement the winner. The blueprint just turned what could have been a huge argument into a simple, confident, data-backed action.
And this is the real magic of experimenting. It's not just about finding one little winner here and there. It's about building a learning machine for your business. It literally transforms your whole company's culture from one based on I think to one based on I know. The question stops being, what should we do next? And it becomes, okay, what do we just learn and how can we use that insight to win again and again? And that right there is the art of the experiment.